Buying something new can often feel like jumping through hoops. You can start with a search query, bounce between sites, comb through reviews, compare prices and shipping details, and several tabs later, you might or might not click checkout. The experience, even without leaving the comfort or convenience of your home, is more akin to exhaustion than delight, made worse by a nagging sense of uncertainty and doubt at every turn. For all the cognitive load the online shopping journey can require, you may as well have fought traffic and gone from store or mall to get that what you wanted. Hello everyone, welcome to the Analytics Insight podcast where we talk about the ever evolving tech space, and I'm your host Priya Diyalani. Now, AI promised to solve for both shortening and streaming the consumer journey and offering a sense of personalization, expertise, and certainty when it comes to making the purchase decision, the right purchase decision. In the past, AI systems primarily supported recommendations based on user preferences. Now, agentic AI can shortlist options and make purchase decisions on a consumer's behalf. Joining us today is Vivek Goyal, COO and co founder of LDOTR, to discuss how brands can secure customers in an agent driven internet. Hi, Vivek, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing good too. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on our podcast today. And I think what we are going to discuss today makes a lot of sense considering how online shopping is changing, how brands are probably struggling to secure customers and deploying different marketing strategies, considering that the backend processes is kind of taken over by AI today. And I think we are going to learn more about it from you today, certain tips, certain strategies, and how probably brands can transform themselves to secure their place in a competitive era. And you can also let us know how does the future look like. So let's get started. And to start with, I want to understand more about L.R. I'm sure our listeners are also keen to know about it. Alongside that, we also want to know about you, Vivek. You are a seasoned leader in brand protection and digital asset management with over 15 years of global experience spanning insurance, telecom, retail, logistics, and consumer goods. So, if you could, brief us about the organization, of also about your journey, your role towards the company, it would be great.
Thank you, Priya. Glad to be here and a very relevant topic given where we are and how rapidly we are accepting AI into our lives and relying on AI to do tasks for us. So, like you said, my name is Vivek Goyal. I'm the CEO and co-founder of L.R. We are primarily an online brand protection and a digital asset management company. We started in 2019 and have been growing since then with over 50 employees spread across Mumbai, Bangalore, and New Delhi. And we are looking to expand into Middle East and Southeast Asia. So the future looks pretty good for us, and I'm glad to be here with you.
Great. Thank you for that overview. We're very glad to know about the company, as well as about your role currently shaping the vision of L.R. Now, moving ahead, of course, we spoke about AI agents, and I mean, these algorithms, AI agent algorithms, are empowered to take action on a user's behalf. And they are starting to fundamentally reshape the business and consumer landscapes. Now, case in point, enough consumers are skipping Google and searching, their products using ChatGPT. It is an AI agent that interprets questions and synthesizes search results that some experts estimate it could replace Google in 4 years. For others, AI agents are creating a new source of customer leads independent of traditional SEO. So, how does an agent driven internet fundamentally change how brands can be discovered, evaluated, and chosen?
Priya, this is $1 million question, and I can tell you every retailer and brand owner is struggling and aiming to figure this out before their competition does. Last December, a lot of reports came out which said that December 2025 was the last Christmas season when shopping was done by humans online. So by December 2026, most shopping online will be done by AI agents. So everything that we have learned over the years on SEO, how to put the brand out there, how to rank higher in search engines will disappear. It will be turned completely 180 degrees because everything we have been doing till now, making a flashy and a nice website, making sure we have good reviews, will not matter to an AI agent because AI agent will filter and shortlist brands for the users, and it will not do it based on the factors that are important to us now. It will do it based on things such as structured data, verified identities, which will matter more than any SEO strategies or the designs of the websites, right? AI agents will compare things like reliability, security, and performance of the websites or of the databases or any other platform that they want to interact with. AI agents will work with AI agents to shop for you, to book restaurants for you, to book your flight tickets. So maybe it will change the way we have been working with internet for so long, and we will have to rethink the way the brands are perceived and the way the brands are even built, because brands will not then compete on the look and feel, but brands will have to compete on algorithmic trust and not just human attention. So, like I said, we work in digital assets management also, and domains form a key part of it. And when we are talking to a lot of AI enthusiasts and influencers, we keep hearing that, the domains will be dead in the age of AI. And actually, I believe that domains will be the most critical asset that any business can have in the AI age, because a domain name is the only signal that a human and an AI can understand unambiguously. And that is where the concept of an owned namespace comes into picture with the dot brand.
That's a really powerful perspective, Vivek. And I think, I mean, what you're describing isn't just a shift in marketing tactics, it's a fundamental rewiring of how trust is formed on the internet. Of course, for decades, brands competed for human attention through search rankings and ads and visual storytelling. But in an agent driven internet, discovery itself becomes pretty much automated, contextual, and intent driven. And of course, it kind of changes the entire power dynamic. If an agent consistently finds better value or better performance elsewhere, switching costs also almost disappear. Building on that thought, Vivek, I think the emergence of the agentic internet will change everything when it comes to how businesses design the overall customer experience. Old norms like search bars or scrolling sessions, even website themselves, will give way to new ones as consumers gain what amounts to a personal digital concierge that works with business AI agents to orchestrate complex tasks across the entire purchase journey. This isn't coming in some distant future. Consumer expectations, as we know, are already evolving. And one research shows that by 2030, over 55% of purchases will be driven by AI friendly consumers. A true customer first strategy means designing new interfaces and systems today. So, trust has traditionally been built through UX and human interaction. How do you think brands can establish the trust with non human decision makers like AI agents?
Yeah, Priya. So, Priya, think of it this way. Till now, everything that has happened or has been taught on the internet has been taught to appeal to a human. Now, flip it, and if now brands and businesses have to target an AI agent so that an AI agent finds them favorable, or believes that you are appetizing to an AI agent, then you have to provide the signals that appeal to an AI agent. It's simple, right? So AI agents do not prioritize how your UX looks or how easy it is for a human to browse through your website. An AI agent prioritizes things such as an authenticated domains, right? Secure endpoints and cryptographic trust signals over visual branding any day, because that is what they understand. And the aim of every AI agent is to serve its user in the best possible way. That means providing them with a secure experience and delivering what is expected of them. So things such as clear schemas, well-configured APIs, transparent pricing, and standardized metadata will allow agents to evaluate options reliably and quickly. And if your brand and business provides these things, then they will obviously get more traction with AI agents than those businesses that they do not. So, look at other parameters that are important in a technical world. So, uptime, performance history, how secure is your platform? Is it compliant with all the laws or regulations, and are those records accessible, right? Anything which is a measurable trust indicator that an AI agent can access, it will raise the priority of your business and of your platform or website higher than your competitors. And this is where a controlled namespace and clear ownership signals will help agents distinguish legitimate sources from risks. So any business that can work on these and establish them securely and will continuously work on to make them stronger will have a higher advantage over their competitors and be attractive to AI agents.
Absolutely, Vivek. And I think with what you said, it's already a paradigm shift that we are seeing in how trust itself is being defined. I think it's no longer about how a brand feels to a user, but how reliably it communicates with algorithms through transparency, verifiable data, consistent performance signals, and interoperable systems. And in many ways, brands now have to build that credibility not only in the minds of consumers but also within the logic frameworks of those AI models. Moving ahead, as 2026 unfolds, the risk profile has also fundamentally changed. Enterprises are no longer deploying bots that just answer, they are deploying AI agents that act. And this new generation of agentic AI is being integrated directly into backend systems with the power to issue refunds, change account details, book appointments, etc. While this promises to collapse the average handle time and boost resolution rates, it creates a massive, often unsecured attack surface. And again, it introduces a different risk landscape, one that demands new approaches to trust, oversight, and security. According to you, what new security risks can emerge when AI agents are allowed to, talk with humans to transact or negotiate? And how do you think brands can deal with such challenges?
Yeah, how they say every sword has two sides. You can use something for good or you can use something for evil. And that is true for every technology ever developed and for AI. Earlier, it was much easier to spot a phishing attack because there were telltale signs. But now with AI agents, there are AI agents which have been developed specifically to conduct phishing attacks, right? There are services which offer phishing as a service. So as compared to software as a service SaaS, now they are called PaaS, phishing as a service. And that's all made possible because of AI agents. So AI agents are the ones that are now driving these phishing attacks. And AI agents are the ones who are now responsible for stopping these phishing attacks. And because these things are becoming so sophisticated at perpetuating these attacks, it is very relevant for brand and businesses to stay one step ahead of these. Everything starts off with a strong signal. How can you track or how can you identify an AI agent being as rogue or an authenticated AI agent before you allow your systems to interact with it? So if a brand or a business, it's also on the flip side, right? How can you make sure that your AI agent sends an unambiguous trust signal to all the agents out there to make sure that they do not consider you as an attacker or an untrustworthy system not to work with? Now, there are simple ways to do it, and there is a foolproof way to do it. The simpler or the known ways to do it is make sure that you have your standards correct, make sure that you have your compliances correct, make sure that all your certificates are valid and are relevant. A lot of businesses are coming up with ways where they are authenticating agents and providing them certificates so that some another agent can use those certificates to verify whether this agent I'm talking to is genuine or not. And then there are things such as dot brands, right, where a business can acquire a top level domain which is the same as their brand name say a .reliance or a .geo, and then host all their AI agents underneath it. Since the business or the brand owns the .brand, nobody else can configure domains underneath that top level domain. So for example, if there is a domain and an AI agent is sitting on it, which says geomart or mart.geo, there is 100% guarantee that nobody other than geo would have put that agent out. So for all the billions of agents that are going to be launched in the near future, for them, it's a clear signal that if a domain name ends in a .geo, then we can 100% trust it blindly because nobody else other than say Reliance or Geo would put that agent out because that domain cannot be spoofed. So similar tactics which are unspoofable, which cannot be replicated, are the ones which can send a 100% safe trust signal to all the agents to say, work with me. I am 100% authentic and this is my proof. And that is the best way for businesses not only to stay safe, but also to make sure that they're working with safe agents.
Definitely, Vivek, and that was a really powerful perspective. I think this era of AI that we are living is so different from traditional automation. And what becomes especially interesting is the balance brands must strike between autonomy and control. Too many restrictions can limit the value AI agents can bring, but too little oversight can produce operational, financial, and reputational risks at machine a speed. So clearly, in the age of agentic AI, it's just not a technical problem. It's becoming a multidisciplinary challenge involving cybersecurity, policy, risk management, and organizational design. So moving ahead, Vivek, I think we discussed the risk sides as well. I think a single misstep, whether through careless sharing of data or over permissioned AI agents, it can terribly affect the loyalty of brands. So addressing these risks requires rethinking security for agentic AI from the ground up. So the customer experience leaders and other leaders need to collaborate on a security by design framework. And it's noted that governance should also be embedded in agentic AI. So as AI agents are influencing purchasing and customer journeys, how do you think compliance, consent, and data governance also need to evolve to meet with the evolving needs of AI agents?
Priya, very relevant question. We have always seen that laws trail technology development, and that has been the case for very long. Only when the technology is abused or used for abusive purposes are laws created to counter that. And it has always been a catch-up game for laws and all across the world. So when it comes with AI, at least it's good to know that discussions around compliance and security and self-regulation have already started. But I think it's a long way to go before we can get a handle on this awesome power that is being unleashed day in, day out. So if you look at from how AI agents are now actually doing things and not just suggesting things, right? Consent must be real time and it should be revocable and clearly attributable. And it should not be just about buried in one time agreements because see, policies around data use, retention, and sharing needs to be structured. So AI systems can interpret and enforce them automatically without the need for human intervention. Because see, every agent-led interaction transaction should be explainable. Who authorized it? What data was used? And under which policy framework it was executed? And everything should be tracked and logged so that it can be checked and verified later to identify gaps and fulfill those gaps. Because as decisions become semi-autonomous, enterprises must clarify liability between brand, platform, and agent. And governance models must evolve accordingly to ensure that they take care of all these things. Now, if you look at it in the AI agent era, most agents are designed to minimize risk, avoid ambiguity, prefer verified stable sources, and reduce decision uncertainty. So when an agent encounters a brand or a business with, say, inconsistent domains, unclear ownership signals, mixed or third-party controlled endpoints, or weak authentication, it just says, why take a risk? I can go to another option and use that one. Why should I put my consumer or my user into harm's way? So compliance will become a key aspect for an agent to trust you, your brand, and your business. And with governance that has been designed specifically with the way AI agent will work, will ensure that your system is not only secure, compliant, but it can send that signal to the other agent on the other end that yes, I am secure and compliant, and working with me will cause you no challenges. So brands can win easily by being easy to verify, say hard to impersonate, and clear about where machines are allowed to interact. So trust isn't just designed, it's actually engineered, right? And that will help AI agents by being compliant and ensuring that they can showcase that compliance to governance.
Definitely. And I think we know with how agentic AI is not just being like a recommendation engine, and they are kind of like being decision influencers. I think it's really important how we think and plan the entire customer journey, keeping in mind the compliance and governance as well. When such new technologies come in, one question that usually comes up is, who is accountable when an AI agent acts? The platform, the brand, or the algorithm itself? See, organizations now need those frameworks that ensure transparency, explainability, and they should be built into the system from the start and not later as just regulatory fixes. Moving ahead, Vivek, I think when any brand that operates, any enterprise for that matter, there are a lot of stakeholders involved into the picture. While marketing teams are still running quarterly planning sessions and monthly campaign reviews, today AI agents can optimize campaigns in real time, personalizing content for each user and identifying high intent prospects the moment they show buying signals. How do you think marketing, product teams, even security, all of this should collaborate as AI agents become a new class of customers?
Priya, who would have thought that we will talk about combining marketing, security, and product team into one group, right? Because
Right, right.
traditionally groups don't talk to each other. Maybe marketing product does, but security
Very true.
not really, right?
Yeah.
So AI agents will force all of them to work together because an AI agent won't distinguish between a brand and product or an infrastructure. So marketing, security, and product has to align into one coherent digital trust framework and showcase a common cohesive face to all the AI agents that are trying to interact with it. So the product ensures structured API first architecture. Security embeds authentication and resilience, and marketing ensures consistent, verifiable identity signals. And the trifecta of these present the face which is appealing and can work with AI agents to ensure that they are secure. And if you consider this, how this can happen, that's where domains, namespaces, data schemas, and trust markers, which have traditionally been disjointed and sitting independently within teams, must be managed jointly because they are no longer just for IT or they are only marketing assets or for that matter, legal assets, right? They are business assets and they have to provide an ROI and they have to play a critical role in ensuring that they are appealing to an AI agent. So beyond just engagement metrics now, team must track, are they good at being discoverable by machines? Are they good at being, can their successes be validated? Are their APIs reliable? And are their trust scores high enough for agents to pick them? And I mentioned this before, I'll say that again. I think going forward, your domain strategy will play a key role and will be a key aspect of providing this cohesive face to AI agents across the world and across services and products to make sure that you become discoverable and trustworthy. And a dot brand can do that for businesses that choose to pick one and deploy it because it cannot be spoofed and it cannot be replicated. So A dot brand provides that face to an AI agent saying, I am trustworthy, I cannot be spoofed. And a dot brand can only work when marketing, security, product, legal, and other aspects of a business come together and make it happen.
Absolutely, Vivek. And I think, the kind of collaboration that is happening today internally within organizations has changed so much. Like, you mentioned that who would have thought that, all of these different stakeholders will come together internally and
Right.
ensure everything is going smooth and seamless. And I think, those boundaries or that those differences that we had in terms of different teams, those boundaries have started to blur. And I think the success here may depend less on individual team excellence and more on how tightly these functions align around shared data models or real time intelligence. Building on that, of course, now whenever any new technology comes up, organizations usually rush to deploy them. Of course, sometimes, what the point here is, most of the brands don't understand the correct procedure or the correct way to deploy these AI agents at work. The point isn't to build a few agents, but to become an overall agentic enterprise or an brand that uses AI to deepen customer satisfaction, increase the retention, and create new revenue streams. What mistakes you think enterprises or brands are most likely to make as they rush to enable these agent based experiences?
So, Priya, think of it this way. Traditionally, all our businesses and the way we work has evolved from a manufacturing background, wherein it was an assembly line. I do my part and hand it over to you. You do your part and hand it over to somebody else. And then everybody knew what they were supposed to do, but it was a one by one model. Now, with AI agents coming in, instead of thinking in a manufacturing mode, businesses have to think more of a symphony mode, where everybody knows what they are supposed to do, but they all have to do it together and in sync. Because even if one team or one individual is out of sync, the whole thing will collapse. And that is the kind of unlearning and relearning businesses, team members, and more importantly, leaders will have to do. So it's a big jump for a lot of big businesses, and even departments that never had to do anything with technology will now have to learn how to work with agents, how to utilize them, how to identify challenges, and how to fix them, but do it together. See, one a lot of mistakes enterprises think is that irrespective of what our current setup is in terms of technology, in terms of data, if we put an AI agent on top of it, it will fix everything. But there's an old adage in computer engineers and developers know, it says garbage in, garbage out. So if you put garbage into a system, it will only give you garbage. So same with AI agents. If your underlying data is not structured, if your underlying data is not coherent, if your underlying data has bugs in it and it is not clean, then whatever AI agent you put on top of it, it will just learn the same and give you the same quality of output. So you cannot assume that I will bring in an AI agent or a company that excels in AI and they will just come and fix everything. You need to first clean your own house, put it in order before you can take that leap from the way you're working today to start using AI for not only internal purposes, but also customer facing. So you cannot have this over dependence on external platforms which will come and fix things for you. I read a recent research which says that almost 85% of retailers say that they have not yet begun implementing or even planning for implementing multi-agent AI systems. So the study done by TCS, 85%. So for enterprises to start, it cannot be done by one team to say, oh, the IT team will do it. They will bring in AI and we'll all just, use that and not worry about what we are doing and how it will impact us. Every team will need to align and work together to make this AI technology a success in their businesses.
Very well said, Vivek. And I think that's really important because right now we're seeing a lot of excitement around agent based systems, and perhaps we are not reflecting around the readiness, and the statistics that you shared clearly highlighted. And I mean, the winners in this space won't just be the fastest adopters, but the ones who are most intentional about how they are designing, governing, and scaling their agent based experiences. Having said that, one last question for you, Vivek, just to wrap up our conversation today is, in the coming years, in the future, looking ahead, what will separate brands that thrive in an AI driven internet from those that get disintermediated?
Priya, I believe that protecting your brand will become ever more important now than ever before if you brand want your brand to succeed and survive. See, because we come from a brand protection background, we have seen brands that have been ruined by counterfeiters, or brands that did not take their IP protection high enough priority. Customers stopped using them because they were just so disappointed with buying counterfeits and did not trust that brand anymore. Now, imagine in that cases, the decision to purchase was being made by humans who could still reason and decide whether this is authentic or not, or even having a bad experience can go back and try again, right? To say, oh, maybe I made a mistake and bought a counterfeit product. Let me try and buy a genuine product now. But in the AI agent world, the AI agent thinks that it is making the right decision every time. And if the first time it has a bad experience, it will not believe that it had made a mistake. It will believe that the brand is not correct, that this is not the brand for my user and I will not buy this brand again. So now more than ever, protecting your brand and business in the online space and making sure that all AI agents know that the real you, the trustworthy you is of paramount importance, because without it, you will not survive. Because today we have options, right? Earlier, when we grew up, there was one detergent called Nirma. Now you have so many options across your plate that you can go on changing detergents or the cookies you eat or the grains you order or the pulses you order or the oils you order almost on a weekly basis, and you will not run out of options in a whole year. So businesses and brands that can protect their IP, protect themselves, and showcase the real and trustworthy face to AI agents will be the winners. If you do not focus on that and you believe brand protection is a secondary thing to do, you will not last 3 months into this coming age of AI.
Very well said. And I think there are still many unknowns when it comes to consumer AI agents and the future of customer experience. But one thing is sure, consumers are already turning to AI to discover and purchase products. And a study says that by 2020, AI enthusiasts will wield over $4 trillion in buying power in the US alone. And for CMOs, this is both a challenge and an opportunity. The winners won't just be the businesses that adapt to the agentic internet, they will be the ones that innovate, seize the moment, and create the next wave of intuitive, human, yet digital experiences. Thank you so much, Vivek, for taking all the time and effort to be on a podcast today and helping us, understand that building an agentic enterprise isn't merely about adding new features. It's about building an entirely new business model. So the question isn't whether the marketing team can be agile anymore. The question is whether brands are ready to build AI powered growth engines that make traditional department boundaries irrelevant. Thank you so much, Vivek, for your insights. It was lovely chatting with you.
Same here, Priya. Thank you for your questions. Really good having a conversation with you.
Thank you so much, Vivek. So, this is for our listeners. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion around the role of agentic AI in marketing, branding, how they can, how brands can ensure that they are delivering seamless customer experiences, ensuring governance and compliance while tapping on the potential of agentic AI in an AI agent internet world. Stay tuned for upcoming podcast, and you can view all our previous episodes on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.